The northern Indian province of Kashmir has been a hotbed of conflict for decades between India and its neighbor Pakistan. Now, it looks like things are taking a very serious turn, unfortunately, though, for the worse. India has revoked the Muslim-majority Kashmir's special status within the Indian constitution. Thousands of troops were sent to the region to reinforce the garrisons there. Now, India's Hindu nationalist-ruled parliament in New Delhi has proposed dividing the province into two so-called union territories under direct administrative rule from the capital. India has also urged tourists to leave and has cut off internet access. Meanwhile, Pakistan's prime minister is accusing India of going against a number of international agreements.
They went against the 17 resolutions of the United Nations Security Council. They went against the United Nations General Assembly resolution, and they went against the Shimla Agreement. They have taken a decision in which they want to change the demography of Kashmir.
Joining us now is a former Pentagon official, Michael Maloof. Michael, thank you for joining us on this issue. We talk about the Middle East, but this is a lot of that same conflict goes into it. So where do we stand in Kashmir today?
Well, it's a disputed argument. It's been going on for decades and decades, ever since the British pulled out, and there's no end in sight. You've got two Kashmirs, actually. You've got a Pakistani Kashmir and an Indian Kashmir. So many changes have occurred in both Kashmirs that India decided to abrogate its a constitutional Article 370, I believe it is, that basically said they no longer had the autonomy that they had in the Indian administered portion of Kashmir, and as a consequence, the Pakistanis recoiled and said, and by the way, the Indian Kashmir is predominantly Muslim,
right?
And of course, Pakistan.
So you got to bring religion into all of this.
Yeah, and you have a Hindu element, and you have the same thing in the Pakistani portion of Kashmir. And in the meantime, during the interceding years, you've had Pakistan turn over certain portions of their Kashmir to China, which adds another ingredient to all this. Consequently, India is basically saying, we can't go along with any of the UN resolutions of the past, which the Prime Minister of Pakistan says India has violated because there have been so many changes over time. And many of them were non-binding resolutions.
Right.
So this has really created a Donnybrook, and now you have the problem since those occasions in the past where there have been actually two wars fought.
Well, they fought before in the past.
Yeah, but now.
What makes this even more scary than what we're dealing with today?
They both have nuclear weapons.
Ding, ding, ding. And just because they have fought in the past, this time they are both nuclear powers.
Yes.
Does that mean that they're going to use their nukes?
Not necessarily. I think there is an international effort to try and get some kind of mediation going along. I mean, this is just one of many frozen conflicts throughout the world, frankly. But this one is particularly hot because India has been fighting for autonomy to basically take it back over. And they were to have a plebiscite. Right. That didn't happen. And so that's one of the arguments Pakistan has been using. But the Indians say, look, we couldn't hold a plebiscite because of all the other changes that have occurred.
Well, that's the thing, and the changes that have occurred. I mean, what's this escalation that's happened these last few hours?
Yes.
With India sending in the thousands of troops,
yes,
shutting down the internet, and telling tourists, you need to get out of town. That's normally not a good sign for a community or a country. Well,
that was a sign that things were happening. People didn't know at first what was happening. Meantime, Pakistan has brought troops down to the area. So we've got a potential explosion about ready to occur unless some level heads.
And that's in that area. What's President Trump? Because obviously here at home we're wondering, is this one area that we might actually not stick our noses in?
Probably not.
Okay, we're going to get involved. But he has been called in to do something.
He's been called in to help mediate. I think that's yet to come.
Well, we're hoping that the art of the deal will come through very quickly in this case.
Okay,
thank you so much for joining us, Michael.
Sure.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.